Okay, so today we are going to be doing something really interesting because I'm going to be breaking down the org chart of a software company that does $45 million a year for you. Now, I will be going over every single role, their responsibilities, and actually why this reporting structure is built the way it is. For context, this company is a client of ours and they've agreed to allow us show you guys this chart. However, everything that we go over will be anonymized so that nothing leads back to the company. So let's actually dive in. Okay, let's actually break this down. I want to talk about how 30 people built a $45 million ARR SaaS company, right? And so that equates to $1.5 million per revenue employee. There's no middle management, and it's just dense with exceptional talent inside this company organization, right? And so let's talk about the model here, right? Total employees, like I said, is 30. They have six leaders and then they have 24 other employees, right? Like I said, it's $45 million in ARR. That's $1.5 million per employee. That's a 3x industry average, right? And so what do they have? Well, they have a flat org, which means that the CEO has five heads and those five heads have 24 people underneath, right? There's only senior talent only. So that when I say that, that means that each person has over 5 years of experience. And so this company also has the top 5% compensation, also meaningful equity for all, of course. And what they don't have is middle managers, HR. They don't have any layers or committees and no junior roles, right? So I just want to talk about this org structure. So if we look at this, we have the CEO at the top, then we have five heads: head of revenue, head of product engineering, head of customer support, head of marketing, and then the head of operations. So let's talk about each one by one. Within the head of revenue, we have a handful of different roles. We have four account executives, two SDRs, one RevOp, one demand gen, and then one content. Within the head of product and engineering, it's quite dense, but we have three back-end engineers, two front-end engineers, two full-stack engineers, one DevOps, one QA, and then two project managers. All right. And then we're taking a look at the customer service section. We have three customer service managers, one support, and then one implementation. For marketing, we have one demand gen manager, one content specialist, right? And then within the head of operations, we have one finance and then one people ops, right? How the money flows is quite simple. And this company runs various marketing acquisition campaigns. But essentially, we want to get anywhere from 200 to 300 MQLs every single month, right? This is done through demand gen and then also the content, which creates the pipeline. From there, our SDRs are going to sift through everyone. They're going to qualify all these leads and actually book them for account executives. Because our main goal at the end of the day is to book around 40 to 60 meetings minimum every single month, right? Once the meetings are booked, the account executives will take over the calls, right? And their quota is to hit 1.5 to $2 million per person, and that will allow us to have anywhere from 12 to 15 new annual recurring revenue every single year. And then obviously once they're closed, the job isn't done. We want the customer service department to make sure that we don't have really anyone churn. Right. This company is an amazing product and they kind of have like a really good moat. So their net retention is anywhere from 110 to 120%. Right. We have three CSMs managing $45 million, which drive expansion. Right. And so at the end of the day, the end final result is $45 million in ARR at 25% profit margins. Like I mentioned earlier, $1.5 million a year per employee. All right. So the customer journey is like this. Within the first 1 to 7 days, we want to have the first contact. When I say this, we want to have the SDR actually book the meeting. Then after that, within weeks 1 to 4, this is what I call the discovery process. So we want to have the actual account executives qualify these people and then have the demo calls. And the reason why I say demo calls, because sometimes if it's an enterprise company that they're talking to, it might take 4 to 6 different calls, right? So the sales cycle might honestly be longer, which is why within months 2 to 4, that's the sales cycle, right? This is where, they might, go back and forth on negotiation, contracts, proposals, all these different things, but it's fine. And then within a 6 month time frame, we want to actually have the contract signed and invoice paid. And then obviously months 7 to 8, here it says month 7 to 8, but but this company does onboarding within 1 to 2 weeks, right? We want to actually have them be onboarded and actually start allowing them to actually implement the software into their own company. And then obviously 9 months and onward is simply just about expansion, allowing this company to see our software, work really well inside their business, but them also really growing effectively and efficiently within the software and their own company, right? And so let's talk about quickly here. Roles explained. Like I mentioned, CEO, is simply the visionary. He's the person that oversees everything, oversees all the strategy. The head of revenue owns that $45 million, right? There's 10 people and he closes the biggest of biggest deals, right? Within the head of product and engineering, there's 12 people and they ship daily within a 99.9% uptime, which is awesome. And the head of customer service has around 5 people, and having that decrease in churn allows them to actually save money, but in the long run, make them more money, right? Head of marketing drives the pipeline generation. The head of ops makes sure that everything is running smoothly. The finance, the people, the systems, the culture, the SOPs, and all that different stuff, right? Within the revenue team, it's quite explanatory, but account executives close the deals, SDRs book the meetings. And so the RevOps does the sales forecasting and the sales reporting and anything revenue based, right? Revenue operations based, of course. The demand gen books the 200 to 300 MQLs every single month via campaigns. And obviously, we have the content guy that does sales collateral, case studies, SEO, editing, all the content related stuff, right? And then when we look at like the engineering slash and product side of things, we have the backend engineers with 7+ years of experience. They're really good at core platforms. They understand how to use every single API, and it's really good. Right? The front end engineers understand how to use React apps, design systems, and they have 6 years of experience at least. Right? The full stack is able to do everything, right? Front and back end, right? And so they're able to ship complete features solo by themselves. And these people have over 5 years of experience. Now, the DevOps, like I said, has 99% uptime, right? This is the infrastructure wizard. The QA goes through all the automations, the quality gates, and also low bugs to make sure that everything is just gone over with a fine comb. And then, of course, we have product managers, which is describing what to actually build and like the actual roadmap of what the product is going to look like in the next 3, 6, even 12 months. And so when we look at the customer service managers, they manage around 12 to 15 ARR each, right? They have 30 to 50 accounts within that range. And so it works really well. The support lead is tier 1 support, right? So this support person has an under 2-hour response time, right? The faster, the better. The implementation person onboards all of the customers within that 30 to 60 days after they are closed. Sometimes you can get it done faster, sometimes it takes a tad bit longer. Now, within the finance section, we have AR, AP, close, right? This works with more so fractional COO basis. He does all the finance stuff, all the different numbers, all the different metrics, that fun nitty gritty shit. Then we have a people ops. So this person does recruiting, onboarding, the company benefits, the company, health benefits, insurance, all that fun stuff, and of course the IT. Now, when we look at the numbers, right, the revenue impact, they add around 12 to 15 million dollars every single year in new annual recurring revenue. And so they expand between 5 to 7 million dollars every single year. Their churn is roughly between 2 to 3 million dollars every single year. And so their net growth is anywhere from 15 $20 million every year. And so the key metrics that I love looking at with this company is they have a gross margin of 85%. They have a net margin of 25%. They have a CAC payback period between 12 to 18 months. And so if you look at their LTV to CAC, it's around a 5 to 7x. And so the reason why this works, like I mentioned earlier, is that there is no middle management, right? Like I mentioned earlier, the CEO has 5 heads, and then those 5 heads have 25 different people. So decisions are made in hours, not weeks. And at the end of the day, there are no layers between strategy and actual execution. Within this company, they only hire A players. So one bad hire is around 3% of their company, right? So that's not good. Everyone is senior, no one is dead weight, and we have a ruthless bar for hiring. Like I mentioned earlier, we have minimal overhead, right? There's no HR department, it's only one person. There is no legal team, it's all done in-house. And there's no analytics team. Engineers do it. So it makes a lot of sense. So we have direct communication. The sales talks to the product, the customer service escalates directly to engineering. There is no broken telephones going on at all. And the last part is skin of the game. Everyone has meaningful equity. So when the company wins, everyone wins. This is how you have true ownership mentality. You want to give everyone skin in the game because A players don't just care about a 6-figure salary. They want fucking skin in the game. So give it to them. And lastly, what do they not have? Like I mentioned, they don't have any VPs director. They don't have HR departments. They don't have sales engineers. They don't have project managers. They don't have analysts. They don't have coordinators. They don't have admins. They don't have junior roles. This is all done purposely to allow this company to be extremely lean and simply do 3 to 5x more revenue per employee than the industry average. And like I said down here, right? Most companies with $45 million in ARR You would expect to have 100 to 150 employees within 4 to 5 different management layers and around a 10 to 15% profit margins, right? This company chose to be different, to choose to stay lean, and to actually hire the most exceptional people within that skill set and within that craft for each specific hire. And of course, we pay them extremely well, and they're actually able to execute like a special forces team going into the wilderness. Okay, so I hope you guys found this quick rundown helpful. If you want access to this org chart, it's going to be the first link in the description. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments and I'll reply as fast as I can. Ciao.